So thank you very much for being here this afternoon. We have an amazing topic to discuss how the internet companies, marketplace, e-commerce needs to adapt to Gen Z. And for that, we have three panelists. I will introduce them now. Daniel Calderon, he's the CFO of Hopper. Hopper is the world's largest growing, fastest growing travel app. It helps on customers to get to save money while they travel better. It has more than 100 million downloads, and Daniel, before being CFO of Hopper, he has been on Deliveroo as corporate finance and in the marketing team of Google. David Ridor, he's the co-founder of Going and CEO of Going. Going is a fintech app that works on top of any European bank and helps them users save and buy cheaper. It has more than 700,000 users, and David, on top of being the CEO and co-founder of Going, he's a magician since he was 13 years old.
Used to be.
Well, is. And Jorge Orejudo, Gorgo, he's the CEO and co-founder of Team Euretics. Team Euretics is the largest Spanish-speaking e-sport platform worldwide, with more than 6 million followers on the social networks. And and he's a great personality in the Spanish internet ecosystem. And with that, let me ask the audience, how many of you belong to Gen Z? That's people that was born between 1990 and 2005. Okay, cool, super. It's great to have two panelists that are part of the generation. Excellent. So probably, guys, you're going to understand everything we explained, and I hope that you agree. The first question here is about, the world really changed very fast, no? And the three of you work for companies that from day one were structured and created to apply to Gen Z, right? To satisfy the needs of Gen Z. If you can tell us how you did it, what's the difference between your business model, what you do today, and what previous companies on the internet did before your company arrived, that will be super, super helpful. And we're going to start with you, Daniel.
Yeah, awesome. So, first, I'm an elder millennial at best. Yeah, I'm glad that there's actual two Gen Zs here. So, we joined the travel ecosystem in 2010. Travel was the first industry to go online 30 years ago, and two huge companies like Expedia and Booking had been there for a while. We ended up in the Gen Z generation, not because necessarily we decided to, but more because we were app first, and it was the only way we could go through it. Like, older people were used to buying Expedia and Booking. They were used to open 20 tabs in their laptop, and we were devising a completely new product that you could use in your app and book travel seamlessly. So it happened to be Generation Z and Gen Z, and we become really good at it. And we go where they spend their time. We were in 2022 the biggest advertiser in TikTok in the US, because that's where our customers are. And we spend all of our resources kind of with influencers, with these types of channels that are very different to what Expedia and Google do. Expedia and Booking, I get confused with Google because they're kind of one of their biggest clients. I remember when I was at Google, there was a country called Booking in EMEA. That's how big it is. So yeah, it's a completely different model.
Super, excellent. David?
Yes, like I always say, like, for example, will you wear a T-shirt that says like the name of a bank, Caja Rural, or whatever? Like, I'm not doing, like, no, like, why? No, it's like, because like also, and this is more important for Gen Z, like brands and like what these brands means for us are very, very important. No, things have changed a lot. Like, it happens a lot with us. A lot of people use us because we are not a traditional bank. This is the only thing. Like, it's like, no, you represent my values. This is a company created by Gen Z for Gen Z. No, like, and these kind of things of moving yourself for values, like thinking about changing the world, like it's this kind of generation. And if you want to approach this kind of generation, of course, like you need to understand their language. No, and that's why we are here talking now. And I believe that everything has changed. I believe that all of us, we are tackling this kind of user, and let's see what the others say.
Yeah, I have to say that it is not only that you will not wear a T-shirt that says the name of a bank, is that in the case of David, Going is one of the few brands I saw in my life that someone tattoos on his body, right? He's a real believer of his company. He's going to tattoo it. And Jorge.
For me, I also have it tattooed
Really?
here a little bit. I can show.
Heretics, really?
Yes, here,
Wow,
heretics.
that's cool.
It's sort of something similar to David. You asked, how did we reach, or how our companies belong to the Gen Z? Well, actually, I'm Gen Z, and I did a company of something I love. So for us, it's really simple. It's like, just build the company you would like to be a fan of. And yeah, actually, something like we're doing, it just didn't exist in previous years. It's something really new. We just created something different. And yeah, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, esports wasn't even a thing. So yeah, it's just like we created something from a hobby, something we like to see, into something we are proud of working in.
Yeah, in your case, Jorge, I mean, I know that many people started at the same time. You started very young,
Yeah.
a few years ago, no? but many people started at the same time that you started, right? And guys, you have been extremely successful. You are the number one. What do you think that was that thing that you changed, or that behavior or authenticity that you transmit? Because that's, I mean, you managed to engage so much with the public that you became number one, and that's super hard.
I think the key thing there is, and maybe you can even do something, you can even extrapolate it to another company. We just understood everything from the beginning, from the scratch. We were part of that community, and we started and we built the brand from the community. We're very much in touch with the community, with what trends do people like, what people doesn't like anymore. So yeah, for us, it's just something even natural, you know? We think we had a clear vision of what the public would want in some years, and we just stick to the vision, and just like start early, stick to the vision, and work hard.
That's cool. That's a good recipe.
Yeah. Like adding something to this and explaining a story that I have never explained. Like Bailey, for example, it's very important to understand like your audience, no? As he says, because for example, in one case, like we had a call with Evo Banco, with the leadership of Evo Banco, and they were trying to get a lot of information about us, like how you do it, what's the price of acquisition, what's that, like they wanted to learn a lot about us. And there was a moment that I was pissed off. I said, like, let's say stupid things. And I started saying, and they asked me, for what is people saving in your product? What millennials want? What Gen Z wants? No, because
potato toast.
Like, no, and I said, no, they want to save for pets, for pets. And they say, come on, makes a lot of sense. Like it's a stupid thing that I said, no? And we were like mute, like laughing a lot, saying like, what the fuck, like, you know? And they don't know what.
Recorded, right?
Like, I was imagining the new campaign of Evo Banco saying, save for your new pet, like whatever. No, but it's they don't know their audience. They don't know it, no? And that's why, like, if you know it and you understand it and you are part of you are the use case, or you will be a user of this product, things change. And related to this, like your slogan, that it's like passion can be...
You can't teach passion.
You can't teach passion.
That's true.
I believe that it's very focused with this conversation. No, it's like, it's normally in a corporate, like the passion, it's lost. No, and the thing that you have to keep in order to have like Gen Z engage, it's this passion.
Excellent. Which brings me to the next question, and it's about branding, right? I'm the founder of Letgo. Letgo was the first unicorn based in Spain. We started in 2014, became unicorn in 2017. At that time, that was 9 years ago, it's quite a lot, but it's not so much. I remember that everybody was telling us, don't invest on brand when you start, right? Don't invest money on branding, because it's super hard to measure the return. Versus if you invest on Google, you invest on Facebook, I mean, you know how much a customer costs and how much you can get from it, right? And that was the theory in the past. But now, more and more, with Gen Z, we see startups that invest very much on branding from day one, right? That they care about the perception of the brand, of the values they transmit, probably that passion that you mentioned, how they transmit it, right? What is your thought on this? How do you see, do you believe that that's the case in your companies?
I would like to think that if you have a trusted brand, if you're able to build a trusted brand, especially along Gen Z, you can then turn that brand into practically anything you want. You have to win that trust, you have to win that connection with Gen Z, and for me, that starts, like I've said like a couple of times, understanding and not trying to force anything, just being natural with everything. That's why I think there's more differences between maybe millennials and Gen Z, or like the generation of my dad and me, than from my dad and my grandfather. There's more difference because there's difference in channels. There's like new channels that people don't understand from 10 years ago, and new ones like from 2-3 years ago. And when you have a new channel, everything that happens in that channel is like, you don't understand it. So for me, that's like the key difference between people trying to connect with Gen Zs and Gen Zs that understand like what you're doing is fake. And there's like nothing more repellent for Gen Z than fake things, you know?
I would say in our case, we're half the way there. Like, we're very analytical and we get really uncomfortable with TV, for example. It works very well for some people. For us, we're not there yet. And we're still a little bit on the camp that brand for us is our customers knowing that they can get the best price at Hopper always, good customer service, and all the selection. Therefore, they can trust the app and they don't need 20 apps for travel. They just need one. And also that we're focused on a demographic and we're not trying to serve everyone with the same product. Hopper, the app, is for Gen Z, that's it. Like for serving all of the other customers, we have partnerships with banks, we distribute our products to airlines, we do a lot of other stuff, but we don't contaminate our brand trying to achieve everything for everyone, because that's what happens with, I'm not gonna, it's too many people here for me to throw dirt to other people, but there's other brands out there that try to satisfy everyone with the same message and the same channel, and it doesn't work out.
No, and I have to say it's true. I didn't know Hopper before meeting him. I met him, I downloaded the app, I used the app. It's clearly for Gen Z. It's a completely different experience than in any other travel app. So if for the Gen Z, try it, you will love it, for sure. And this probably brings to the next question, right? About you mentioned authenticity. I read yesterday, 68% of Gen Z considers influencers authentic and honest. Mm-hmm. So can you sell to Gen Z without investing on influencers? And by the way, probably you know influencers. I mean, I know you know influencers. So.
I'm not sure if that stat is a fact. It's maybe a little bit less, but yeah, I mean, there's like everything. There's people that think that they're honest. There's honest influencers. There's not honest influencers. So for me, it really depends on the person. I think an influencer in a startup or in a company has to be very in touch with the soul of the company, because if you're just promoting an ad and maybe like in an ad campaign or whatever, you know it's not natural. You know I paid you and you just uploaded it. No, you have to be in touch with the spirit of the company and understand and be in touch with the values and just have that alignment with the voice that's going to represent your brand. For me, that's key, and not everyone is capable of doing this, and not every influencer is good for your brand. So for me, that's like where the magic happens. Like maybe you get this one here, this one, it can function well, but maybe like all the other ones over there, they're even bigger. But if there's no like alignment between the two parts, I think it's not gonna work.
But related,
and I think you have like a lot of experience with that.
Yeah, but related to that, like I believe that the stat, it's true. The thing is like they are honest or not. Well, this is one question, but people believe that they are honest. 68% of people believe it. Because it's true that the influencer marketing, it's what it used to be the TV before. No? Like it's, okay, I have seen this on TV. It's now, Jorge has said this on Instagram. It's like, Jorge has said it, I believe Jorge. And that's why like a lot of fintechs, for example, Klarna, had a lot of media backlash in UK because influencers were saying, hey, buy the new iPhone with Klarna, you can get it tomorrow. Yes, but then you have to pay it. Like you have debt then, and people, they were not saying, no, the problem is of Klarna. People were saying, no, the problem is of the influencer. because he is recommending me the product or service. Then like, it's a really interesting topic, but of course, influencer marketing is the revolution of our moment, and it's the new TV, I believe. Yeah.
For us, we're in such a positive category overall, and travel is so Instagram, TikTok friendly that it's very natural and it works really well for us. We have a big challenge on scaling it up. Like, we have some successful campaigns. Some of them are really productive for us and for the influencer. Like, you can imagine Pepe traveling around the world for free thanks to Hopper by giving referral codes to his friends and getting a lot of people engaged. And it works pretty well, but like scaling it up to a level where we can invest millions of dollars is tougher. Like we're not there yet.
Yeah. It's super interesting the fact that, I mean, if influencers are like TV, I mean, you go to TV, you choose the channel, you choose the time, you invest on a commercial, right? Here is not that case, right? You need to know the influencer needs to know your brand. There needs to be a close relationship for it to be efficient, which is super hard, no? But at the end, it pays back.
There are platforms, there are people trying to figure it out, but like, at least for us, I don't know for you guys, but like, and your category is really tough to do it right.
Yeah, like finance stuff and everything, it's like super tough. But you know, like the cool thing is that's why like you need to win the trust, earn the trust of the user, as Jorge was saying before. And through influencer marketing, you achieve it a lot, no? Mainly if the influencer is a prescriptor and use the product, no? For example, that's why, like, for example, in our case, it's very difficult to say, yes, this card of this bank, it's better than this other card. This is very difficult. But if you merge with commerce, that is what we do, it's like, for example, Jorge streams on Twitch, for example. And he's buying on Uber Eats, and he has a pop-up that say, okay, thanks to Goin, you will save 3% of your new purchase. This is super organic, because he already normally use Uber Eats, and he's streaming, and like then, of course, like the cool is influencer marketing, it's like a super fragmented TV channel. Yeah, I know that the people that will see Jorge will be people that likes esports. But maybe from this other influencer will be people that loves makeup. And this is super important because on TV, like everybody, it's super broad, no? Like, and that's huge, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the difference between traditional online travel websites, traditional banks, right? In your case, I don't know if it's
Traditional sports.
Yeah.
traditional sports,
Like
probably.
NBA.
We're Kings League.
Yeah.
No,
but all those companies, they have a lot of money, they are very successful, and they dedicate a lot of resources to try to be connected with Gen Z, right? And sometimes they make mistakes because it's not so easy. Probably it's easier to start from scratch, being focused on new generations, than to change the culture, the perception, how something is perceived, right?
Yeah.
What mistakes have you seen on people trying to make it so artificial that it doesn't work? What kind of mistakes are the most common, in your opinion?
I think being artificial itself is the biggest mistake. You said influencers are the new TV. Maybe that's right, but the key difference is TV wasn't natural. It's everything but natural. And influencers that achieve big numbers, big influencers, are the most natural ones. That's the way you create that bond. So if you're trying to promote your brand, being in the middle of the influencer and the public in an artificial way, it's just not going to work. You have to be a part of what he already does and try to scope it in like in the most easy and natural way for the influencer.
I think there's also a natural cycle here. Like Airbnb was to Gen Z, to millennials, what we are to Gen Z. And Airbnb was inflated mattress on your house like 20 years ago. Today, they give you big villas in Tuscany with Labradors going around. There is no freaking Gen Z that is gonna rent a Tuscany villa with his Labrador, right? And that's when brands start getting a little bit older and a little bit higher end and serving older generations, right? It's a little bit of the cycle there.
That's very interesting because that means your example on Airbnb, that means that probably very big successful companies that are super difficult to disrupt, right? The category, that if you bring values, I mean, probably you do something very similar, right? If your values are different, maybe you have an opportunity to disrupt, right? It's a different way of disrupting a business, right?
Yeah, I think that can be like that. You have to be in touch with the values and understand what public you're addressing to. So yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And another question for you, what comes next, right? One day your companies will be perceived as old. I mean, hopefully not, but it could be the case, right? Or your competitors. What do you see coming? I mean, what do you see as a trend or something that you're working on that you think that in the next 2-3 years are going to be hot and today it's not so much?
I think my company is an example of it, but I haven't seen it a lot here in Spain. I think creator economy, like building brands from the influencer to that public, just like another way of monetizing that creator, is something that has to arrive yet. Maybe you have a beauty creator that's focused on beauty and you build a brand around it. You don't have to spend $1 on marketing. The marketing is already in the company itself, and you already have like the trust and the belief of maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 million people. So for me, bringing that creator economy to Spain is something that we're trying to work on.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, that's a super good idea, and it's very common in the US. I mean,
it's very common among celebrities in the US with alcohol, with beauty treatments and products, and I think here it's a new way to disrupt some.
Yeah, which probably is a trend, right? I assume that those things that work in other countries, I mean, a few years ago it took years to come to Europe in general, no? But now with the internet and everything is so fast, right?
Yeah.
That is months if it's and maximum 1 year, no? So that for sure is going to happen. Yeah.
For us at Hopper we want to take over the world. Like, we're selling around 6 billion in travel this year. To give you a sense of magnitude, Airbnb sells 60 billion, Booking and Expedia around 100 billion. So we're small, but we're really big already. We're like probably the 4th biggest player in the category, and we're growing really, really fast. I hope we have this first-class problem you're describing, that we're so successful and so big that we're very worried about the next generation, how we're gonna really kind of stay relevant. But our app that is directed to Gen Z is our innovation hub. We try a lot of crazy stuff there, and we gain credibility with partners, and now we have a B2B side that is working pretty well, because who do all the airlines and hotels want to attract? Gen Z. Who understand that? Expedia or Hopper?
Yeah.
You go to Hopper. So we're starting to partner with all of these companies out there, and this is also a really good kind of self-fulfilling circle. Where do you want to work? If you're a talented engineer in the US or in Spain, do you want to work in Expedia, in Booking, or in Hopper? You want to work with the person that is winning. So we want to keep that, and maybe in 5-10 years we have that first-class problem. So
excellent. Yeah. Well, or not. And I have a question about micro-influencers. That seems to be a trend also, right? More and more people, for Gen Z, authenticity and the values are so important. It's easier to be connected to people that live closer to you and that has the same problems that you have, than to big influencers that are followed by millions and millions of people, right? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that is going to change, or?
I think that's even going to grow because it's normal. I mean, all the big celebrities are already, maybe they have already maybe like lost that trust, or are already with a lot of brands. So if you want to go like to a little segment of population, maybe like they like, I don't know, cars, you're going to be better off with someone that's maybe just talking about that topic in particular than someone that's really, really big and really doesn't have that public or that authority, that voice with that subject itself. So I think it's something normal. I think in big profiles are not going to be able to drive that much traffic as maybe like people with less followers, but that are more determined with that area, you know?
Yeah. Like the problem, as he was saying before, is that it's less scalable. No? And you have to automate processes and things, and it's super difficult because, of course, you have limited reach. but of course the conversions and everything are way higher because like each time you are closer to the user, no? And that's good. We have done it a lot. It has worked very well, but it's very, very time consuming. Mainly, I believe that maybe there is big opportunities of startups that they automate these processes of like creating this kind of economy of scale, but with micro-influencers, like in order to automate all the process of contacting the end user by this new channel. Yeah.
I have the problem that we have like probably 100 versions of the Hopper app going on. So if you download it, I don't know if you're going to get this, but we already have content creation in the app where you can create videos in your hotel, your destination, recommend it to your friends, and get credits for it, depending on the quality of the content. So we're definitely going the long tail because there's a lot of that in travel, but also everyone wants to go to Paris and they want to go to the Eiffel Tower. Everyone wants to go to Barcelona, right? Like there are things that are mass marketing tourism that will still be important, where those mass channels are really helpful.
Yeah. Another characteristic of Gen Z is that you guys are the first ones that try everything, right? If there is something new and you want to understand how it's going to work, companies focus on how Gen Z interact with that, right? And the big thing, I have been in a few panels here in the South Summit, and everybody's talking about AI. And this is a new topic that we didn't discuss today, but I would love to understand if you think that there is an influence there and how your companies are thinking on using AI on a marketing perspective or interaction perspective to scale, and if that somehow do you think affect the fact that probably your public is the first one that is going to demand that, right? Everybody should have some AI in their companies, but you guys need to do it fast because if your competitor does it, you're in a worse situation, right?
We have to start understanding how we can use it. Obviously, it's going to disrupt practically every industry. But yeah, I would say we're not in that point yet, and we haven't understood yet how it can make a difference for us.
Yeah, like in our case, just yesterday we launched a major update in our app, like adding like GPT 3.5 connected to your personal finances. And we are very excited, not only because of our company, but like as Jorge was saying, about disrupting the market because everything is changing drastically. Now you can ask to a chat, like, can I go to Paris? Like, he will tell you the prices. He will know because it's connected to your finances. If you have money to go to this place, and he can even book the flight, no? Everything has changed completely. And in our case, we are super excited about connecting finances with artificial intelligence, that now it was more kind of, I don't know if you have used Akinator in the past, but more for fun, no? Like, okay, to play a little bit, but now, like, you can start merging, like, with real use cases in a big scale, thanks to OpenAI mainly, but a lot of companies are innovating a lot on this. And probably in your case, you are using it a lot also, but it's fascinating and we are super onboarded into this direction.
But yes, I comment here, and is that I really admire that, David, because you are the first fintech company, fintech app that implement GPT 3.5, no? And now all the interaction with Going, for you as a user, is like talking with a human being. No? It's like you really ask whatever question you want, and they're connected to your finance, your bank account, what you consume, your capacity to save money, and then they do the calculations and predictions for you of how to use that money in the smartest way to achieve what you want to buy, right? And that's amazing.
Yeah, but because related to that, before you were asking what has changed with Gen Z, no? And I believe that the thing is like velocity of things had changed. No? In the past, something happened in America, and to arrive to Europe, it was years or whatever. No? Now something happens to America, and the next day, it's in Europe. No, it's crazy. Then innovation also had to speed up. No? And the thing like to keep engaging with the Gen Z, like you need like to keep this level of velocity because it's very easy to lose the users, as you said, because everybody at Gen Z tries everything. And if your bank doesn't use AI and I use it before, I have the chance to win. That's also for investors, there is a big opportunity on investing into that.
And for entrepreneurs, no? Because startups are always faster than traditional companies, right? And it's good that your users demand that speed because it gives you an advantage as a founder, right? And I mean, we know that entrepreneurs, they change the world and hopefully for a better world, no? So that's super positive. Sorry.
No. We've been using a statistical inference for a decade, so yeah, we've been in this game for a while.
Excellent. So thank you. I mean, thank you very, very much for your insights, for sharing your experience, your story, talking about the future. It was a fantastic panel, and I had a lot of fun. Hope that you enjoyed also, and please, let's clap the panelists, and thank you for your help, guys.
Thank you.